explodes. All of this happening at night, and people began to call it midnight dread. Midnight dread is the term. Midnight dread. Excuse me. When they come for people. And as a result of this, people started to not sleep at home. They began to sleep in different places every night. They began to not sleep in their last known location that is affiliated to them. What's the last known location? The government knows where your mother lives. The government knows where your father lives. The government knows where your sisters and your brothers live. So you do not sleep in those places if you're one that someone has lied on, or if you're one who your previous conduct, your previous acts makes them now looking for you. You don't sleep there. You sleep in different places because you do not want to be visited by midnight dread. Some people even broke up their family for better choices of survival. Dad went with some people, mom went with some people, and they broke that up so that they would not be rounded up and the entire family exterminated, just like that. Excuse me, please. And also God showed me how great a gap there is in the type of thinking in America. I was stunned seeing this thing. I mean, I know it exists, but to see God showing it to you in the dream like a movie, this thing is real. It's just that because this nation has never faced an existential threat. America is the threat to other countries. She is the one who destroys other people's countries, but she has never experienced what it is like to come to the point of annihilation, and worse, by her own members. There was such a gap in the thinking of this nation. The first people that God showed me were people who rose to the occasion. When America became a place where they could come and get you for midnight dread, some people rose to the occasion because these people have been taught all their lives not to trust the government. They had been taught by their parents, grandparents, their teachers, and other influential people in their lives how to play the game. And this is how it goes. When the government plays fair, you play fair. But when the government does not play fair, do not be disappointed. Do not be shocked. Do not be mad at all. In other words, love America, but expect anything from the government. When the government is just, you be just. When it's right, you be right. But the minute it stops being those things, break rank, loose hell, and take care of your own. These are not my words. I am not Wyatt Earp. This is what God was showing me in this dream. This is how other people react. Government's acting right, they'll act right. Government's being just, they'll be just. The minute the government goes rogue, these people are like, right, all bets are off. You asked for it, you got it. And I saw that there are a ton of these people scattered all across the states, but they're mostly concentrated in certain areas. And he says that these people, God was showing me that these are usually the type of people that can hunt, that can fish, they grow their own food, and you will never find them in line at the welfare office. These people make a point of never accepting any kind of government handout because they know it comes with strings. He says they never take payouts, nothing. They do not want it. They may be poor, they may not be poor, but he said because they don't trust the government. When the U.S. government pulls off its mask in the future, says these people were 100% prepared for it. They were not shocked at all, and they were not sad about anything. I saw these people sitting on their porch with their you-know-whats on their lap, and they were saying things like, told ya. They would just sit there on their porch and say stuff like, told ya. Or when they saw people walking in the street that were looking all stressed and sad, then they would shout out, it's a corporation, as if to say, why are you sad that a business has started to act like a business? They didn't care a single bit what was happening in the big cities. They knew that people were being put to death in boxes because the cities became like locked up boxes. They were killing people in the city for the most ridiculous and manufactured reasons that you can think of. But these people, they never loved America as much as they loved freedom, their weapons, their dogs, their animals, and their families. And so they were not shocked at all when the government turned into a murdering regime because they never expected anything different. Deep down, they never really expected anything different. But you see, the educated people, the master's students and the college students and the professors, all the experts, those with a lot of degrees and letters to their name, these people were knocked on their backsides and they were destroyed emotionally, because God said that they learned about their country from books, and they never thought about the fact that America is the one who describes herself in these books. So what else is she going to say about herself but that she's great and just and fair? God said that they never paid attention to reality, and so they never learned anything. And so these people were shocked to the bone, and these people passed away in majority. They were hampered by great disappointment. They had mass cognitive dissonance. This includes the church. There are people in this nation, they are church, they call themselves the good people of Christianity. Those people, their hearts will literally stop working when no rays of light come down from the sky to beam them up. But they begin to go through cycle after political cycle of their worst nightmare. These people are completely unprepared for what I'm talking about. And I have meticulously said on this channel that if these people are your mother, your father, your relative, you are in for some serious, hard decisions, because these people are exactly like people who are drowning at the beach. When you try to reach out and help them, they will pull you down because of how unprepared they are for what I'm saying. They're the ones who always come here now and say these witty things like, you're evil. My spirit doesn't witness with what you're saying. How can your spirit witness with the truth when you're full of demons, lies, and fantasies? How can you possibly receive the truth? Why would your spirit, which is darkness, ever witness with the light that is sitting here revealing things to come? Never been to a communist nation in my life. Have absolutely no idea the nitty-gritty details of what they do. By the Spirit of the Lord, reading it out year after year. And then the end result is people coming here. I don't witness with... How can you witness with the Spirit of God when you have the spirit of darkness in you, the spirit of lies and fantasy? These people will take a ton of true Christians down unless those true Christians make some hard decisions in the future. And that's all I'm going to say. After this third dream about the cognitive dissonance, about the fact that people blankly refused, they saw what was happening in the country. They saw what the government was doing. And because there was no room in them to receive the truth, they continued to deny, well, maybe it's an error. They were getting this error message, error. They could not compute what was happening. And I saw that they lost their lives in a big group. And so God was showing me the two groups, and all I can say is one group did much better than the other. And the same thing in the zombie prophecies. When those things came, a certain group of people in certain parts of the country were like, well, it's just a varmint, and I'm going to have to handle it like we do all the varmint. But another group, this is not biblical. What is this? They did not do so well. And so I stayed up. I didn't want to go to sleep anymore. I was up for about 2 hours, and God was just telling me about Pol Pot, saying that Pol Pot was one of the most merciless dictators that ever lived. And God said that this man became as powerful as he did because he employed something that America usually employs in battle, and that is called preemptive strike. God said that Pol Pot struck all the people he suspected of being his enemies, being envious, trying to undercut or usurp his authority. God said that man struck all his political enemies before they could strike him. But then that wasn't enough for him. He began to strike all the people who were connected to the enemies, so their families, their friends, anyone who had ever supported them. And God said from that point, this man's insanity just got wider and wider until this man was able to get rid of almost 2 million Cambodians in only 5 years. I think it was 1974 or 1975 to 1979. 5 years, he was able to take out between 1.5 and 2 million people.